Welcome everyone to the second episode of Ampersand View, a series of interviews designed to showcase some of the members of Ampersand, our research and networking think tank. So Ampersand now has around 2,000 members who meet to exchange opinions on industry trends in a variety of encounters, whether digitally or live at our events. Our guest today is a long-standing and very engaged member of Ampersand, Mr. Fernando Paes Afonso, formerly CEO of the Portuguese lottery Santa Casa, and then of a Portuguese online operator, Nossa Aposta, currently working on spearheading a lottery initiative in Brazil. And it is Brazil precisely what we'll be talking about, and this is part of our ICE 365 WRB LATAM series. So welcome, Fernando. Great to have you. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview with us. So Brazil, it's obviously been talked about for such a long time. We're still awaiting for the process to develop, for regulations to come out. I believe so are you. Can you tell us more about your plans there? And why Brazil is an attractive jurisdiction despite the length and complexity of the process there?
Okay, so start with we have to make a distinction between lottery and other type of games. The lottery type of games, they are highly regulated. The law was approved by the Congress, and all the lottery typical products are in the law. The problem is with the online operation, which is not regulated until now, and it's still in process. Okay. So, what's the news in Brazil? There was an important decision taken in the end of 2020, last year, by the Supreme Court. This decision was to declare unconstitutional the monopoly of the federal government in operating lotteries, and therefore opening the possibilities for the states to regulate and create their own lotteries. And this is the huge change in the panorama of Brazil. Just to give you an idea how inefficient the operation there was, is that the federal monopoly, owned by Casa, has a total turnover of less 3 billion euros. And so when you look to Brazil, Brazil is a huge country with more than 210 million inhabitants, and the turnover of the lottery is inferior to that of the Portuguese lottery, which, by the way, is around 3.2 billion euros, but only with 10 million population. So this gives you an idea of what I'm talking about, okay? So the inefficiency is a consequence of the federal monopoly, and mainly because it's operated by a bank and with only 13,000 points of sales, and for Brazil, that's nothing. If you compare with a country like Portugal, where we have 6,000 points of sales for a very small area compared to Brazil again. So these are the causes for inefficiency. So there's a huge opportunity in Brazil now, and that's why I am there actively pursuing those opportunities that are arising. Okay.
Obviously, like you talked, we talked about you having been the CEO of the lottery in Portugal. Then you had a period as the CEO of an online gaming operator, as Portugal has opened up with new regulations for online. Now you're back to the lottery business in Brazil, as you say, huge opportunity. Can you tell us more about those plans and kind of your experiences between the lottery and gaming business?
Sure, with pleasure. Well, it's no secret for no one that the lottery business is highly related with societies and is in the large majority of the countries, even in the more developed countries, is a land-based activity. So if you go to the States, or if you look to the European countries, the lottery business is essentially a land-based business. And the share of the land-based in the total operation of lotteries is higher than 90%. Okay? So it's a world where you have to deal with point of sales, and then you have to deal with persons, with people. Okay, and you can see their faces. And normally, a lottery player is, as Byron said, betting, which means spending a small amount of money in a big dream or in a medium dream. It depends on the dreams of everyone. So it's a more face-to-face and a more society-involved, engaged activity that I really prefer over the online experience that I had, which for me it was really impersonal. There were faces that I didn't see, people playing at normally at very strange periods in the day, mainly at night. So it's different worlds. And for myself, it was very, very useful. Okay, it was an experience, but I'm back to what I love to do. And what I love to do is precisely to understand what people want to, and to be able to provide a very sound and safe offer of lottery products. And that's why I decided to embrace this new opportunity, even in this time of my life, because it's huge. It's a huge opportunity. Brazil has 26 states and 1 federal district, and it's a huge territory. It's like the European Union, and therefore I'm talking with the different governments there. Not only talking, but also presenting data, studies, and I think I will be able to start the operation in 1 state in the end of this year, hopefully.
Well, fingers crossed. You obviously you made it clear that you're back to lottery and that your activities in Brazil are in the business of lottery. Obviously, Brazil is also really interesting because of the sports betting legislation and regulation that are coming out. But regardless of whether it's lottery or sports betting, you obviously have loads of experience right now, having operated or having tried to create that business in Brazil. So I just wanted to ask for your advice to share with our audience. What are the key pieces of advice that you would give to anyone planning to enter the Brazilian market?
Okay, even if I'm too old to give advices to
on the contrary,
someone,
I would say.
I would say the following. First, just a precision. Sports betting is a lottery product, okay, in Brazil. So it's already regulated, okay. So the different states can offer not only land-based sports betting, but also online sports betting, okay. So like in Portugal, the lottery runs the land-based sports betting, and there are several operators in the online world. So having made this definition or this precision, what I would say is, likewise, other areas, other countries, other cultures. First, if you want to operate in Brazil, you should know Brazilian. That's the first rule. It's the same if I wanted to go and operate Iceland without knowing what are the habits, what is the culture of Iceland. So the same with Brazil, and in Brazil, an higher complexity as the European Union, because it's, for example, the states of the north part of Brazil are completely different. The people, the way they talk, the way they behave, completely different from the south part of Brazil. So what I would strongly advise is, if you want to embrace an opportunity in this area, either in the lottery field or in the online area, I would strongly advise anyone to find a Brazilian partner and go there and try to understand the reality and the culture of that beautiful country with so diversity, with so diverse states, so diverse culture. That's what would be my advice.
Top advice.
Yeah, that's the first one. The second one is to be ready to face a highly bureaucratic country. Okay. And thirdly, they have very special requirements regarding foreign investors. Okay. So even in this area, don't think that you can arrive to Brazil and say, okay, here I am. I'm the owner of 100% shares of this beautiful operator, and then I will apply for a license or for whatever. That's not possible. And probably in the majority or in the whole Brazil, you will not be allowed to participate in public tenders to operate either lottery or online operations without a Brazilian partner. Okay, so by law, for example, in the majority of the states, a 100% foreign company is not allowed to help the operation.
I suppose also that's another reason to have that partner, right? On one side, dealing with the kind of the bureaucracy and an admin of setting up a business, and then secondly, obviously, as you say, knowledge of the local marketplace or marketplaces. So over the last year, I mean, I imagine you couldn't travel as much to Brazil. Has the pandemic put a halt or kind of delayed any of the plans that you had for Brazil?
Yeah, well, to be honest, yes. As in the rest of the world, there were several activities that were put on hold. The situation there had its peaks also. The severity of the pandemic there was and still is very high. And therefore, the consequences were some delays. But on the other side, and on the positive side, everyone is now used to do this kind of meetings that, as we are doing through these online platforms, and it's very interesting to notice that the efficiency and even the productivity of the meetings between the Brazilian authorities and my company is now higher. So the meetings are very straightforward. We address the questions. We move forward. That's why, as I've told you, we do believe that we're going to begin the first operation in the end of this year. I guess that probably without the pandemic, of course, I'm not saying the pandemic played a positive effect, but maybe it would have been more difficult to have everything sorted out if it wasn't for this new type of relationship that we can establish through the online platforms. And this is very interesting because I do believe that in other areas of our lives, and even in the lottery business, in the online business, it seems that if we do approach the problem as an opportunity, then you will have more time. You don't have to spend so many time traveling. Imagine that if it wasn't the case, I couldn't have held so many meetings with so many different governments in Brazil if it wasn't by or through Zoom or through other online platform. That's the simply true.
That's amazing, and I suppose this is a great end to our conversation. Turn a problem into an opportunity. Very positive. Thank you so much, Fernando, for giving us a little bit of your busy time. I do hope that we are going to be able to meet and travel to Brazil very soon. And obviously, good luck with the launch, and fingers crossed for the launch to take place indeed this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shiva.